I want to talk to you guys about a strategy that I use with almost all of my clients that has shown to be very successful in getting people who come into Messenger for your ad campaigns and get them to convert and to get to the final call to action, whatever that is based on your campaign. The great news about this is it can work across the board for any industry, any offer, as long as you're doing lead generation for the most part, or you're asking for information. Even if you're not really asking for a lot of information, you can still use it. If you have any questions while I'm going through this, please ask them and I will be sure to answer them at the end. So, how to increase conversions inside of Messenger? Anybody have a guess of what that could be? Like I said, I've used this for multiple different clients and industries, and it works extremely well. The thing to keep in mind is when you're building a campaign for running it on click-to-messenger ads or even email, that you have people who are coming through your bot that you are, that they're at whatever they're doing at that point in time. They might be sitting at a stoplight. They shouldn't be on their phone, but people do that. Or they might be sitting at home and their kids interrupt them, right? So the thing that really gets people in is the ad, but then once they're inside of Messenger, sometimes people get distracted. Sometimes people have something something in their mind that makes them stop going through. Maybe it's a question that they have about your offer, or just something internally with them if this is a right fit for them. So what I do to increase conversions inside of Messenger are reminder messages. Sorry, I'm gonna try and write fast so you're not sitting here waiting for me to write everything. But reminder messages, these are huge. And I'm gonna go over some case studies of mine of some of my clients of how I've used this and how much of a difference it has made. So first one I want to talk about is for a vet. And the offer for the vet is a free exam. So this is a great offer. Low barrier of entry. They don't have to pay for anything up front to get a free exam for their pet. And what they can do, or what they do, is they get into Messenger. I ask them their email, their phone number, and then I have them click to book a scheduled call or a scheduled appointment. And utilizing reminder messages, you can use it for anything that's along those lines, right? Email, phone number, you're asking just general questions, that information you might need for, let's say another example could be maybe like an insurance agent. You need more information from the user to really be able to know what type of appointment to book, as an example. So in these instances, this is how you want to have it set up. So the first thing you want to do is when they opt in, that you have, we'll do this. This is a tag saying that they are opting in to that specific funnel, that specific flow, right? So this is super important to have at the beginning, the very beginning step, nothing else before that, just the beginning step that they've opted into Messenger into this campaign. Then let's say you ask them their email, then you ask them their phone number, and then we'll just go like this, and then we'll do the call to action, which in this case for this free exam was to book appointment. So with the reminder messages, let's say they opt in, they don't give their email, right? You want to, they went through the trouble of clicking the button and opting in to your bot, right? So what for the reminder message, first reminder, you want to have it be the person has a tag, and email has, or is unknown, sorry. is unknown. I was going to say has no value, but it's actually called is unknown. That way you know they've opted into this, but they have not yet given their email. And then you send them the message. So with this initial message, sorry, what's going on here? My kid better not be calling me right now. Somebody's calling me. I think it's my kid. So with this message, you want to make sure that you ask them, say, hey, first name, were you still interested in getting the free exam? And if they say yes, then you just take them back to give their email. But if they say no, they're not interested, so let's say no, we'll just put no, then that's where you want to have another tag of saying no longer interested. And that's super important for user experience because you don't want to keep sending reminder messages to people when they said they're no longer interested. So that is a big piece of the puzzle of reminder messages that you don't want to forget. Let me make sure that this is showing up on here. Okay, awesome. So once they are given this message, they'll go through and they will finish the flow. So same thing with the second reminder message. It'll be, you can still do the tags because here's the thing, if you have multiple campaigns going for this bot, you'll want to still use the same custom fields, right? You'll still want to use the same email, and the same phone. You don't want to create new email and phone custom fields for each campaign because then that will become a disaster, pretty much, just to lay it out how it is. So the best way then to use this reminder message is make sure that they have this first tag. And also for the phone, you can say email has any value and phone is unknown. And then you'll send them, if they say yes, they're still, send them a message saying, are you still interested in this? The other thing I highly suggest is with these messages that you send, you make it enticing. Like for the free exam, I say, hey, are you still interested in this? Spots are filling up fast, right? Give them some sort of FOMO or incentive to click and say, oh my gosh, yes, I want this. And then once they say yes, you go back to phone and then they'll just have those two steps left. And again, if they say no, make sure you can even have it go to the same no option that you have for the first reminder message. You can, duplicate that, right? And so the great thing I love about ManyChat is being able to duplicate things with a click of a button. So you're not having to recreate it over and over again. So those are the two main reminder messages for information. But you will have people who give this information and are said, okay, great, next, click to book your appointment. They've gone through, they've given their email, they've given their phone number, they're obviously interested. So now it's time to click to book. But let's say they don't click to book. So that would be the third reminder message. Let's make sure this is going in here. Okay, I'm just gonna start on a new one because I don't want to be, my handwriting gets worse the further I go down. So third reminder message, and this is for the call to action. So for this, you will have the tag, and you can have the email has any value and the phone has any value, but I would say at minimum have the phone has any value, oops, and the other thing is on the call to action. Let me put this here just so it's visually consistent. This call to action book appointment, on the button, have another tag that they clicked to book. So you know that they clicked to book. So, just back over here again. Okay, so, and tag isn't the clicked to book. Okay, so that third reminder message will be sent to those people who've given all their information but didn't click to book. And again, that could be another just message that says something similar along the lines of like, hey, we see that you didn't book your appointment yet. We have a few spots remaining. Are you wanting to get one of those spots? And then of course have, so if they say yes, send them the message for book appointment. But if they say no, then you can do the same thing where you add the tag of that they're no longer interested. And the other thing with the no message I highly suggest is it gives you a chance to potentially overcome some objections. So ask an open-ended question. Something along the lines of, hey, no worries. Do you have any questions for us about this offer? Or do you have any questions about our services? Giving them that open-ended question to have them respond, because there's some reason why they did not respond. Like they went through this whole thing, but they decided, oh, I'm not going to book. So sometimes they say, oh, I realize you're not nearby me, or, oh, my, how much is it? Or, they might have some other objections that you can then respond to. So those are the three main ones, but there's one fourth one. And this one is pretty ninja, I guess, had a lack of a better word, that you can utilize if you have the ability to connect ManyChat to the booking system. And so for this example, with this client of mine, I use the ManyChat Pixel. The ManyChat Pixel is amazing for this. So the fourth one are people who click to book, but they didn't actually book a call or book an appointment. So how they do that with the ManyChat Pixel is it has to have in the button, the initial website that it goes to when they click the button has to have the ManyChat Pixel on it. Or actually, I guess it technically doesn't have to have it on that one. It at least has to have it on the thank you page. But the caveat for that, and the reason why I ended up having to do it this weird way, is the thank you page has to be the same domain as when they first click to book. So let me give you a little backstory. I spent weeks trying to figure this out. So I'm giving you guys a heads up so you don't have to go through the same issue I did. So what happened was the booking website was on a third-party veterinarian booking company. So I was having the bot send them to there, and then the thank you page where the pixel was installed was for the vet, was the vet's URL, their domain. So the problem was because the initial website that they went to didn't match that of the thank you page, it wouldn't track. So FYI, keep that in mind because it has to be the same domain. So what I have here is when for the fourth reminder message, for the condition of that, you have to, again, have the tag. And then you could even just have it say, this is the tag for opt-in. Now we're dealing with two tags. And then has tag is click to book. So that's one, but the final piece is that if you have a rule where the conversion event, when that happens when the pixel is fired, you can add a tag. So, and you can say, and tag isn't a scheduled appointment. That way, you know that they've opted into the flow, they click to book, but the tag isn't scheduled appointment. And all of these also, I should also mention, all of these are time-based. Sorry, that's supposed to be a clock. Not, looks like Pac-Man eating up high. So these are all time-based reminders, rules. So they go off after a certain amount of time. So those are the four main types of lead generation reminder messages. So from this, for this example, it's crazy. I did some analysis of the stats. I've been running this for a couple months now. And for those who didn't click to schedule, so these people, right? So the tag isn't click to book. So, right, they gave all this information, but they didn't click to schedule. 18% of those who received this reminder message, 4% total of who received this message actually went through and scheduled an appointment. So that's 4%. So if you think about even like e-commerce, abandoned cart, having a 2% abandoned cart success rate is amazing. So same thing with this. Having 4% is great. I mean, higher is even better. So the crazy thing though, and you also notice that the further people get along or the further they get into your funnel, the more, I guess, dedicated they are to, the fact they put all that information that they're very interested. So the reminder message to those who clicked but didn't schedule is 19% of those people clicked to the website, right? They got that reminder message, and 19% of those people who clicked who got this message clicked to the website, and then 8% of those people scheduled. And the overall numbers is, 8 of that 8%, 43% of those who clicked actually scheduled on the reminder message. So that is a big get, right? Just from sending a quick little reminder message. And these people who are clicking to schedule these exams are going in, and then they're getting a pretty much a plan for their pet of what is next, what their pet needs. So being able to know, like vaccinations, and just having a new veterinarian, which is great because then that obviously for the business brings in a lot of cash, right? All from just offering a free exam. So let me see, does anybody have any questions yet? Court says, I may have missed, are you using your rule to send a reminder? Yes, I did. JP, didn't recognize you without a muscle shirt. Yeah, my tank tops, I'm always working out. Hey, Marcio. Awesome. So that is with the veterinarian clinic. So I did something similar for orthodontists. And if you were at Conversations Conference, I talked about this stuff on stage. The cool thing with, here, let me, so for the vet, reminder message for who didn't click to book. And then scheduled. So they received the reminder message, and then from that reminder message went to book, and they actually booked a free exam. Yeah, I have it written up here. It was 4%. 4% of those people actually went through and clicked and scheduled an appointment. So the reminder who clicked but didn't book, and I'll just put and then booked, even though and then booked means from the reminder message. From reminder, I'll do that. That was 8%. Wait, did I say 8%? Yeah, 8%. 8%. So it doubled. And so you can see those people who actually clicked to the website versus those who didn't, they were more dedicated to actually booking it and following through with the call to action. Now, for an orthodontist, we ran this for a few months and did the same thing. They have their email, their phone number, and then click to book a free consult. So what I had with this one, and this is more detailed stats of how many people went in through and then who booked. So over, let's say 1,135 went through into that flow from the Facebook ad. And then of those, 335 self-scheduled. They just did it all by themselves, which is great, right? That's what we want, is automation where they just self-schedule. And that is a 29.5% conversion rate, just on its own, right? So that's what we want. But reminder messages, because there's a lot of people who obviously didn't book, 70% did not book. So with reminder messages that were sent at the varying stages, right? That they didn't give their email, didn't give their phone number. And think about it. If you don't have reminder messages, you're missing out on this part right here, right? So the reminder messages resulted in 7.7% more appointments. So you could be missing out on that for your clients or for yourself if you don't have the reminder messages set up, right? So that is another example of showing how it helps to bring in more people from the reminder messages. Now, I know we're talking about lead generation, but there's other ways to use reminder messages too. Oh, the other thing too is another big one, and I don't want to gloss over this one because this works really, really well for my restaurant clients. But for restaurants, which I have a new restaurant client, we're doing a birthday ad campaign. For my other restaurant clients, we're doing a free meal, right? Which is great. This other restaurant, we're doing something different, and it's working really, really well, is saying that they get to pick a birthday prize, a surprise birthday prize. And I have a gift of 3 packages dancing, and they get to pick one of the 3 gifts or whatever. And it's either a $5 coupon, $10 coupon, or $15 coupon for like that much off. It is going like gangbusters. So many people are opting in and actually going through and getting it. Now we'll see with the redemption. I just started this, so we'll see. I'm assuming the $5 off probably won't convert as well as the $10, $15 off, but it's all with a randomizer too. So it's not like, you know, all of button 1 is always $5 off. So it'll be interesting to see how that converts. But anyways, I digress. So with restaurants, giving a reminder message to people who didn't provide their email. So as an example with the birthday offer, where they go in to get the birthday offer, they have to give their email. Here's the crazy thing on my Mexican restaurant. So I've been running this birthday ad since November of 2017, and I have not touched it or changed it or anything, right? It's still going. With the email reminder, so they get opt-in and they're asked for the email. Of all the people that opt in but don't give their email, they get sent a reminder message. You know how many people actually click and go through and complete the task, the flow with that? 50%. 50% of people who otherwise would have just dropped off and forgotten about it go through and complete the give their email and then go through and get their coupon. So if you're not doing reminder messages, if that's not enough, I don't know what will be. But there are, like I was saying, this will be about the getting toward the end here. Other use cases that I'm using reminder messages for. So yeah, lead generation. But for example, going off like with that birthday offer, at the end of the flow, let's say someone gives their email. I'll do the birthday thing here. And this could be good for any coupon. So where they give their email, and then given their coupon, right? And the thing with the birthday is great because of the expiration date. I have it set up to a week when they receive it, or a week of their birthday. But you could have the same thing where you give a coupon for whatever type of offer that you have, and you have an expiration date. So let's say it's a 2-week. So at the end, when they give all the information, send a message that asks them if they want a reminder in a few days so they don't forget to use their coupon. That is just a great way to promote it, saying, hey, would you like us to send you a reminder in a few days so you don't forget to use your coupon? If you do, click the notify me button below. And which is, if you don't know, that's that one-time notification that will allow you to send a message to them after 24 hours where you can remind them to use their coupon, and also follow up with them if they haven't already opted into SMS or opted in for another OTN for future offers. So this is a great use case of the OTN with a reminder message. And then all I have it set up is with the rule that after 3 days or whatever, that they will get a message that is set to send as an OTN. So that's one way. Another thing that you can use is with giveaways. Those of you who have ran giveaways, usually you run it for 2 to 3 weeks, depending on what the offer is. But so you want to get a lot of people in to Messenger to opt in, not only to potentially win, but also you should all definitely be having a runner-up prize. So you're getting more people opting in for that runner-up prize. So with the giveaways, after they opt in, they've entered in to win, you send a reminder, or you ask ask them about getting a reminder. And with this, you say, do you want to be notified of the winner? And the way I word that and works really well is like, do you want to know if you're the winner? If you do, click the notify me button below, which is great. Everybody wants to know if they won, right? So that's another use case of the OTN. And then for those people who don't opt into the OTN, obviously you're getting their email, so you can send the giveaway winner via email and OTN, or SMS, right? So if you have them opting into each of those, you can have them opt in that way. So these are a couple other ways of being able to use reminder messages that help to further your engagement, or have an option to be able to engage with them later on. Let's see. Which appointment system do you use? How much time do you send the reminder? So appointment systems, I use, well, it depends. Like if I have a client that doesn't have an appointment system already, then I like to use Acuity. I actually was just talking to somebody in my course today about that. Acuity, and some people use Calendly, but I really like Acuity because of the ability with Zapier to connect with ManyChat. It's really streamlined and smooth. It's pretty awesome. But if they have an online booking system, you can use the ManyChat Pixel and it will work just as well. Being able to let ManyChat know that this specific person, booked a call or booked an appointment. And then how much time do you give to send a reminder? I usually wait between, for the lead gen, anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes. On the outset, sometimes I do 30 minutes, depending on, maybe how many other reminder messages there could be sent. I don't want it to be each one to be exactly the same. So my suggestion is try different times and compare the opt-ins and the conversion rate. So, but what I found was, especially with my orthodontist, that I did that too. I did that split testing. Having it between 7 and 15 minutes seemed to get the best results. So definitely try that. So I do have, lastly, my 3 tips with reminder messages, besides all these things I just talked about. So let's do this here. Okay, so my 3 tips. I'll just do 3 reminder. Is this helpful? Let me know if you guys think this is helpful. If this gives you ideas for your campaigns. Okay, so my first one, you want to make sure that if you ever, I'll just write this here. If you are ever, make sure I write this down right. Yeah, asking for info that you, or have a call to action, like booking, like we were talking about with booking, or clicking to, I don't know, pay for something. That's the thing. You could have people buying stuff, and so if your call to action could be booking an appointment, or it could actually be purchasing something inside of Messenger, like an e-com physical product. That and or call to action inside the bot. First of all, number 1 is you need reminders. Exclamation point. You need reminder messages because people get distracted, right? You always need to have reminder messages, and also make sure that they are set up at each step. Each step that somebody could potentially drop off, right? Okay. Number 2, and like I mentioned earlier, for reminders that need to be sent outside of 24 hours, utilize the one-time notification. The other thing though, I want to point out is with, if you're having a reminder for like an event, then use a confirmed event reminder. But one-time notification, you can definitely use that outside of 24 hours if they've opted in, if it's not a, like a confirmed event reminder. Let's see here. Okay. And so, and also like I mentioned too, for actions that like call to action of things that are happening outside of Messenger. So outside of Messenger, call to actions. Make sure that you are using things like Zapier or Integromat. I use Zapier, or the ManyChat Pixel to send relevant messages. So the one thing that I have used a reminder message for an outside Messenger CTA, an example of this is Amazon sellers. You don't know, unfortunately, thanks to Amazon being pretty much a closed box of who has actually made the purchase. There's some, I guess, third-party ways of figuring that out, but or using coupon codes and then seeing individual use and then seeing which ones use those. But for the most part, for these ones that are outside of Messenger, for Amazon, for example, or let's say it's a booking system that you can't add the pixel to. I had that example with one of my clients. Booking system, they had no way of being able to connect the pixel to it because it's a franchise. What you can do is send a time-based reminder message that just says, hey, first name, were you able to XYZ, whatever the call to action was, right? Did you have any issues getting this? Or did you have, were you able to purchase this? Or were you able to book an appointment? Now, that's not ideal because they might be like, you should know this, right? Like, you are the business, you should know this result. So that's a last resort for me if I can't track that stuff. But you can definitely send a reminder message that way to those people, using a time-based rule. So definitely want to still follow up with those people to find out if they were able to book or whatever, or make the purchase, because when they interact, you can then engage with them again and have that next call to action of whatever that is, which I always try to think about that next step of how I'm going to reach them again, to have that funnel kind of put in place, even if it's an OTN, to reach out to them in the future with some other offer. So if they say, yeah, I was able to book, an appointment, say, okay, wonderful, can't wait to see you. Oh, by the way, are you interested in us letting you know the next time we have a special or have an offer on XYZ? If you do, just click the notify me button below. And then that's a great way to be able to still send those messages, but of course you have the fallback of email and or SMS. Okay, let's see. Kevin says, cool, thanks, this is great, you're welcome. Wants as many tips I get here, thanks, you're welcome. So yeah, so those are my reminder message tips that really you got to make sure that you utilize when you're setting. And also, I guess one bonus I want to mention is make sure you're using the tags, like I mentioned earlier, the ones where people opt in and the ones that have that they're no longer interested. And depending on how you have it set up, but most of the time, 99% of the time, make sure it's set to send once per user. Otherwise, you could potentially bombard people with reminder messages every time they engage and they fit, like let's say they didn't, the reminder message that says, hey, were you still interested? And they didn't click yes or no. The next time they engage, it would then send it to them again. So send it once per user, or you might start sending it to a lot of people multiple times, even months down the line, and it could be really annoying. So, but with that being said, I also want to let you guys know that if you are stuck, or if you would love some, strategy ideas for your chatbots or for your chatbot agency, if you're trying to build your chatbot agency, I actually am wanting to help people currently with getting to that next step with their business and reaching their goals. So you're interested in learning how you can work with me to help you get to that next level, go here, bit.ly. I put it in also in the description, so you can actually click the link and not have to type this into a browser, but also it is case sensitive. Book a call. I put with McKinsey. I'm trying to remember. Yes. So again, just, I should have flipped it over. I look like my 5-year-old's writing. So if you are interested in learning more about how you can work with me and I can help you, like I said, with all those different things, be sure to go through this and book a call. If you guys have any other questions, let me see here. If there's any other questions. If you guys have any other questions at all, be sure to comment with them below, and I can answer anything and everything having to do with these reminder messages. And those of you who aren't yet doing reminder messages and you've seen this, you better be doing reminder messages because they will make a huge difference in your chatbot campaign.